This is Meghan Markle's sickest stunt yet. This weekend, she decided to invoke the memory of dead Princess Diana in a deliberate attempt to terrorize her long-suffering husband, Prince Harry.
Again, I have to be careful what I say.
Prince Harry reportedly erupted this time, and insiders say no amount of palace protocol could calm it down quickly enough.
This is gross and grim and deranged on every level.
This wasn't a scripted outburst or a carefully managed PR response. Sources say it was raw, emotional, and impossible to overlook.
He thinks that's a win, Brittany? No, we see you, Meghan. We see you, and now the world sees you.
Witnesses say the breaking point came when Harry saw Meghan's video, filmed just steps from the Paris tunnel where his mother died.
It was just a terrible look. She does not look good. It looks like something you would see at a grandma's, like, you know, if she's celebrating her, let's say, 60th wedding anniversary, that's what a grandma would wear.
For him, that spot isn't symbolic or abstract. It's personal, painful, and almost sacred, and insiders say something inside him snapped. There was no calm statement, no strategic silence, just pure, unfiltered anger.
It's really quite sad.
Who does this? Who behaves like this?
It was the kind of rage that comes from years of bottled up emotion finally boiling over. That tunnel marks the worst night of his life, and those close to him say the moment hit him far harder than anyone expected. Now people keep circling the same question. Who does that? Who uses a place tied to such a tragedy as a backdrop?
She was the villain.
How was she dangerous?
Because of the need for her to rehabilitate her.
Sources say Meghan was lounging in the back of a luxury car, feet up and smiling into the camera, filters on, as it rolled past the very spot where Diana lost her life.
Stephanie Sidley, if driving towards Princess Diana's death scene is a message to Prince William, then Meghan Markle is the devil.
Shared online like any other casual moment, the clip drew swift backlash, with critics branding it tone-deaf, badly timed, and indefensible. And for Harry, insiders say, it crossed a line into something he found unforgivable.
She did this all after teaming up with the dodgy child scandal fashion brand Balenciaga during a bizarre trip to Paris.
It stayed quiet through years of criticism, but this was different. According to a source close to the couple, Harry confronted Meghan head-on, condemning the video as cruel, attention-seeking, and a betrayal of everything Diana stood for.
Meghan is using everything for publicity.
Just another appallingly tone-deaf action.
That confrontation reportedly happened off-camera, but the impact was anything but quiet. After the Balenciaga show and the surrounding media frenzy, he allegedly accused her of turning tragedy into a prop and using his mother's death as a way to stay relevant.
This is her in the car videoing herself with her legs up as she went past the tunnel in which Diana Spencer was so tragically killed in Paris.
His words, insiders say, sliced through the gilded Paris air like a blade. And it didn't end there.
If I know that this is a place that my husband hates because it's where he lost his mom, I'm not going to go there.
And behind the closed doors of a five-star suite, what began as a tense exchange reportedly escalated into a full-scale confrontation, one so intense that even their inner circle couldn't contain it.
How are you protecting children when you were promoting a brand that was accused of inappropriate behavior towards them?
Now insiders and onlookers are asking the same question. Did Meghan finally cross the line between ambition and outright disrespect? Was that moment a calculated choice or a terrible lapse in judgment? Share your take in the comments below.
Well, how about having some thought towards your husband's feelings when you're in the same city his mom died in, running around, having a joyride in Paris near where she lost her life?
All of this played out under flashing cameras and Fashion Week applause. It was supposed to be Meghan Markle's big comeback. Front row, designer approved, lenses fixed on her, all couture, celebrity in control. At least that's how Harry thought it would go. Just another harmless public appearance, another routine moment in front of the cameras.
Especially when he's on the BBC saying that it's not safe enough for my family in the UK, but it's safe enough for Meghan to be alone in Paris, literally engaging with the paparazzi you say killed your mother.
The world saw Meghan smiling and waving, perfectly lit by the Paris glow. Paparazzi casting her as radiant, refreshed, reborn. Every step seemed intentional, every glance carefully measured. The Meghan brand in full motion, relevance restored. Then came the video. Just a few seconds of footage, a casual clip posted online like any influencer moment. Feet up, phone in hand, cruising through Paris.
Meghan is doing her own thing. Harry, go whatever with you. I'm doing what I want to do.
But as the car slid past the Pont de l'Alma tunnel, the place forever tied to Diana's final hours, the backlash detonated online. Comment sections turned into war zones, with people slamming the clip as disrespectful, staged, and utterly unforgivable.
Have you ever seen that video?
No.
Pull that video up.
For those who remember Diana's last night, it didn't feel careless. It felt wrong, like tragedy dressed up as contempt. What made it worse, critics say, wasn't just the clip itself, but what followed. No apology, no clarification, not even a denial, just the same unbothered smile at the next fashion event. But insiders claim that silence wasn't peace. It was strategy. Meghan wasn't retreating, they say. She was moving forward on her own terms. Behind the designer shades and polished poses, she wasn't ignoring the backlash but absorbing it, because the louder the outrage grew, the more cameras swung her way. That's where the story, for many observers, seemed to crack open. What first looked like a careless misstep didn't stay that way. Online commentators began dissecting the footage frame by frame and argued the route wasn't random. The car appeared to follow the same path Diana's did that night, turning toward the Pont de l'Alma underpass. To them, that detail changed everything, suggesting this wasn't coincidence but choreography, with every stop, angle, and second feeling deliberate. A setup meant to spark conversation that rapidly exploded into outrage.
I was just checking Us Weekly, Harry and Meghan's personal press release service. I want to give you some of the headlines from Us Weekly in the last few hours.
Okay.
Meghan Markle quietly attends Balenciaga's Paris Fashion Week show. Quietly.
Commentators branded the moment symbolic, and royal reporters called it deeply unsettling. But what really shattered the image was Harry's reported reaction. After years of standing by Meghan through every scandal, this time witnesses say he walked out of the event and refused to travel with her. According to insiders, the argument that followed wasn't just about the tunnel, it was about intent. Harry allegedly accused her of using his mother's death as currency, and she reportedly shot back. It's just a location, not your property. For those present, that single sentence changed everything.
She's walking around Paris like she's the She's got her arms flowing. She's really feeling her oats. Woman, please go back to California and be with your children and go and find a career other than just being desperate for attention every single day.
Hours later, she was in the front row at the Balenciaga show, a brand still under fire for past controversies involving children. And for critics, the optics were brutal. A woman who built her image on protection and ethics now standing in pointed, selective silence. Her defense was simple. She said she was just showing support, but detractors saw something very different. Not loyalty, but selective morality. One insider put it coldly, claiming that every time her relevance dips, she reaches for something dark, and what followed made every past controversy look like a warm-up. To them, this wasn't a one-off misstep, but part of a growing pattern, the cracks only starting to show. If Harry really did call her out behind the scenes, do you side with him for finally snapping? Or do you think he overreacted?
Samantha Markle, Meghan's sister, posted, "Is it true that my sister was doing selfies in the tunnel where Diana died? That's what I'm hearing." Now that would be a really sick example of being a disaster.
Drop your take in the comments, because once the noise faded, something far more calculated began to surface. Every controversy, every headline, every public blow-up stopped looking random and started to form a pattern. From Netflix deals to red carpet appearances, the rhythm looked the same. Outrage hits, silence follows, then comes the spotlight. Insiders began calling it the cycle. Shock, pause, attention, with Meghan at the center of it all. People close to the Sussex circle say, Harry has finally started to see it too, that every storm seems to benefit one person more than the other. That his trauma becomes her talking point, and his mother's memory turns into her aesthetic.
Meghan entered this world like it was a Hollywood set, assuming she could rewrite the script, center herself in every scene, and edit out anything that didn't fit her narrative.
His silence becomes her leverage, critics say, hidden behind the polished image. The strategy looks simple. Turn criticism into fuel, backlash into buzz. Even her Balenciaga appearance didn't seem random. The brand still triggers outrage, and outrage means visibility, keeping her name in circulation. For Meghan, the formula works. For Harry, it breaks him. Friends now describe him as trapped. Every time he defends her, he loses a piece of himself, and every time he speaks out, he feeds the narrative. She thrives on attention, he absorbs the fallout. This stopped being about a single video or fashion show long ago. It's about control, emotional, public, psychological. A strategy built on provocation, wrapped in compassion, and sold as empowerment. And maybe that's the cruelest part. What began as a love story between rebellion and royalty has hardened into something colder. A business built on controversy, fueled by pain, and protected by cameras.
Finally, Meghan Markle turns up at Paris Fashion Week, fancying herself to be kind of budget Angelina Jolie, but without the talent or the tits or the teeth. I mean, I think she fancies herself to be a bit of a catwalk model, more like an aged pussy on the prowl, looking for it.
So now the question echoes louder than ever. Coincidence or calculation? Is Meghan using controversy to stay relevant, or is she just a victim of media exaggeration? That night, Paris glowed gold, but the energy around them turned ice cold. Meghan wasn't being photographed as a star anymore. She was being studied like a case. Every blink, every step, every glance toward Harry seemed to matter. Cameras caught everything. Her smile fading for a split second as he walked past without a word, his jaw tightening when her hand reached for his arm, and he didn't take it. No shouting, no on-camera drama, just distance, and sometimes silence speaks louder than rage ever could. Online, the atmosphere mirrored that tension perfectly, as clips were slowed down and dissected frame by frame. Commentators and self-styled experts analyzed micro-expressions like a crime scene, turning a half smirk into proof of arrogance and a blink into a sign of guilt, each edit stripping away warmth and making her appear colder, smaller, and further from the woman many in the public once believed in.
Harry and Meghan will likely have their titles stripped. I think they should have their titles stripped. What is she doing for the monarchy? She's going to fashion shows with this horrible outfit, which looks like a bed sheet. Looks like she's wrapped in toilet paper.
Then came the crowd footage. Harry stepping out alone, flashbulbs detonating around him like rapid fire. He didn't wait, he didn't smile. Just a man moving through the noise, haunted and hollow. A figure the world refuses to let rest. Days later, Meghan appeared at a gala dinner, radiant and composed, acting as if nothing had cracked. But behind the polished smile, her eyes kept scanning the room. She wasn't looking for approval anymore. She was measuring control. That's the paradox of their story. The cleaner the image looks, the more fractured the reality feels. Behind every camera flash lurks a shadow. And lately, critics say, that shadow has Harry's face written all over it. No warmth, no reunion, just two people orbiting the same scandal, pretending it's still love. One insider put it bluntly, this isn't a marriage anymore, it's a performance. The clip stopped trending, but the damage didn't fade. The headlines cooled, but the fracture set. Harry slipped from the spotlight, choosing quiet over confrontation, while Meghan did the opposite and doubled down. Charity luncheons, carefully staged appearances, stylists buzzing, interviews filtered through friendly outlets. The message to observers was loud even without words. She wasn't retreating, she was rewriting. Control no longer seemed about truth, but about narrative. Behind palace walls and PR filters, advisors reportedly whispered about containment and reshaping optics, yet this time even loyal staff couldn't disguise the split. Harry stopped showing up in sync. No joint appearances, no shared smiles. Some said his silence was strategy. Others called it survival. Meanwhile, Meghan's camp pushed a different version. Anonymous leaks painting her as misunderstood and misjudged, using the oldest move in the celebrity handbook, turning victimhood into visibility. For weeks, tabloids became her mirror, each reflection looking more curated than the last.
But I have to just say, anyone who has doubted me over the past decade about this evil woman now needs to eat some humble pie, because this video designed to mentally torture her